Hello everyone, welcome back to the channel. So we're back with the final episode of the Dragon Prince, the last episode of this season, and a major battle is about to take place, and I cannot wait for. On the last episode, we got this killer speech by Soren. He's now that speech has now catapulted him to the top of my list of favorite characters. Definitely in terms of development from season one to now season three, he's getting there. He's getting there. He's basically the Sokka of our team for from Last Airbender. So and well, to be honest, it's weird. I didn't love Sokka all that much in the Last Airbender. I definitely wouldn't have said that he was one of my favorite characters. Or perhaps it was just because there were so many characters to love in that series. But here, Soren has definitely stolen the show for this season at least, and I can't wait to see what he does. Hopefully, he'll have a hand in taking Viren down. That would be, you know, I think that would do a lot for him. Personally, because he's always felt as though he was the lesser of the two siblings. And his father definitely treated him as such. Claudia has the potential to use dark magic, and she's always listening. She always listens to him, and she doesn't really question him. But Soren is the exact opposite of that. So it would be pretty sweet for him to be the one to deal the final blow to take Vern down. Don't know whether he could, for as he's mentioned in the last episode, as much as he recognizes that his dad is an evil person. He's still his dad, and he still very much respects him. So I don't know if he could, or we'll see. We'll see. But of course, the battle's about to start. Our heroes have decided to stand and to fight. Still not quite sure what their odds are, but luckily the Sunfire Elves, or what remains of them, have now shown up to kind of throw their support in. And I'm hoping that new elf that showed up, that he's flown off to get some more support. Quite possibly from the elves that ran away the first time and left Rayla's parents to die. And so it'd be good for them to come back and kind of redeem themselves as well. And we do have some dragons, or at least one dragon and Zim on our side. I'm still wondering where, I keep bringing it up, where is Solregum in all of this? But I'm sure there are other dragons, spread out somewhere across Zadia who would want to lend their power here, because if Varen takes control, then everyone is lost. Alright, so an epic battle. Can't wait. Episode 9. Let's check it out. Battle preparations.
Perfect.
Is he gonna learn to fly? I wouldn't jump off the cliff on your first try.
Manus, Pluma, Volantis. My arm is itching a little. Maybe it's starting to work?
Did you pull a muscle in the middle of a jumping jack?
I was just greeting the sunrise. Hello, son. How's it going? It's a big day. Could be our last.
Yeah. To be fair, that's true every day.
Yeah,
Okay, but
very
to be
true.
even more...
Way to ruin the moment, Soren.
So, I want to say something to you. You know all those times I called you
Sorry for
the
bullying
step
you
prince,
all those
or
years?
made fun of you, or knocked you down and stuff? You remember that?
I do remember
Vaguely,
that.
yeah.
I think
Growth
it was because
for
even though
Soren.
the king was your stepdad, it was so clear how much he loved you.
Yeah,
And
and he didn't have
that
that
made
from
me
his
feel
dad.
jealous and upset. So I picked on you because I didn't know any better. Also because you're smaller and weaker.
Oh, thanks.
So, should we hug or something? To seal the apology? Is that a thing?
I don't know if that's necessary.
It's
Oh!
a thing now. Come on, embrace it. And Soren was King Harold's personal guard, right? Although I'm sure Viren arranged that for his own purposes, but I think he respected King Harold.
You have grown up so brilliant and strong,
What, not like her brother?
but you are still my little girl.
We're all that's left of our family, and I won't let anything break us apart.
Is it still a family when
capture
everyone
the
is
dragon,
gone?
I will show you how to take his power.
While they try to climb up, they'll be vulnerable. And that guy can pick them off easily. And by that guy, she means this guy. And my zap hand. Yeah!
Your magic isn't limitless though. I kind of have to go up the mountain in one file though. You have the advantage of higher ground. I would not go down there to fight them. Oh, okay. They're down there to fight them. I want one of those. Ah, nice.
Aw, Dad, look. They have shields. Maybe we should just give
Shut
up
up,
and turn
Claudia.
around?
You guys probably should have set up some traps or something ahead of time.
Wait. Flop.
Nice. Sweet. Suck on those shields, Claudia. Alright, somebody's gonna need to take her down because she has the potential to do a lot of damage. Always take out the mage first.
Hold the line! Push them back!
Ah, Maya. Badass. Fighting together this time. But can all of them do this, or is it just her? Yes. Bastard strong. Gold, red, green.
Brace yourself.
Tenebris Praesidium!
And those are your fellow soldiers, actually. This is why he should have, I don't know, the decision that he made initially to step down, I don't think was the right one because your men are dying anyway.
They're strengthened by the blaze.
Yep, that's not good. Maybe we should have brought some other type of dragons.
It is time for the next phase of our plan.
I understand.
Where are the ice dragons or other thunder dragons?
No! Don't land! You've got to stay in the air!
You're making yourself a target by coming on the ground.
You're ready to see your mother. I'll go in with you, but Zim, I don't want you to get your hopes up. She's in a deep, deep slumber, and I don't think she's waking up anytime soon.
Gotta try something, Zim. give up, Zim. Keep trying. Oh, man, keep trying. Slaughtered out here. Where are the other elves, though? I mean, the guy that flew off.
Don't even try it. I got more wind where that came from.
I don't know how much you can keep that up.
Fulminous!
Time to cast it. Soren? Ah. Surprised that did it.
Ready!
Reinforcements from the other kingdoms.
Forward!
What's the baker doing here?
The tide is
That's
turning!
hilarious.
I love how you say that.
I don't know about that. You still have mages to worry about. Hey, oh, okay. I thought Viren and Claudia were still there. Because they're not dead, so
You fought
where are
bravely.
Thank you. My name is Marcos.
they? Aw. Humans and elves.
I'm worried. This is not over until we find Viren.
Yes.
We cannot let him slip from our grasp.
I'll order a massive search of the entire battlefield. We will find him.
He
and
has
capture
one
him.
objective, and
We
that's
won't
to
let
get
him
to the
away.
Dragon Prince, so that's where your efforts should be focused. Claudia.
Claudia?
Come on, don't go by yourself.
Claudia, wait!
Azzy.
Oh, I'm sorry.
Ezrin.
I didn't mean to run into you like that. Are you okay?
No! Drop the staff, Father! It's over. Ever is necessary to protect his life.
I was
Because
afraid it
now
would come
I
down to
know
this.
what the right thing to do is. Do you lay down your staff and surrender?
You did it. I said it might come down to this, but I didn't think. If Ren goes down, that means it's gonna be Claudia. In a fit of rage, I suppose she's gonna be consumed by the dark magic. Where is Arvos?
How could?
It was over.
That's not Viren, is it?
No, it's not.
What?
That's not Viren.
The real battle was never down here.
He's up top.
All of this?
Arvos is missing.
Just a distraction.
Where's Callum? Wasn't he
Your
heading
mother
here?
can protect you now. So still, so perfect. I'll harvest her later, but first, it is time to consume you.
In there. Well, now would be a good time to learn to fly, Callum.
There is no
Zim can't really fly, right? He can sort of glide. But now would be a good time to learn. Did he learn to fly now? back in. Thought it was gonna sprout some demon wings or something.
Yes. Such power. I can feel it surging into me.
Where's Callum? It's not over yet.
No, no, no.
Learn to fly. Fly, fly, fly. Come on. Now or never. Hope that works. He's falling too.
Rayla, I love you. Manus, Puma, Volantis.
Yes! Worked. Where's Zim? Is he dead though? He absorbed quite a bit of power from Zim.
But how did you?
Do not take your eyes off Viren unless you can confirm that he is dead. Okay, Zim is fine.
Well, I'm happy to see you too.
It's not over until Viren
I
is
just
captured.
can't believe it. Everything we've been through together.
Dragon Queen is away. Better late than never. Could have used you for the battle. King could speak, can she? Nope.
I can't
Humans and elves actually working together.
Elves and humans are here? And they've brought back my baby. My love. And my hope.
Okay, so he's alive. He escaped. Damn it.
You're alive.
So Claudia saved him.
Somehow I survived the fall?
With dark magic.
You didn't.
She brought you back.
Where is...
Your creepy caterpillar friend? 2 days ago it climbed up that wall and spun itself into that. It's changing.
Alright guys, then we have it, episode 9, the finale of the Dragon Prince season 3. Another fantastic finale. Our heroes won just barely, sort of. I was a bit surprised though. I actually expected Viren to play Viren and Claudia to play a much larger role in the battle, but it's understandable. While they have access to dark magic, that power is not limitless. So in that way, that major attack that she pulled off at the very beginning of the battle itself. But I did want for Viren himself though. He used some trickery to have Claudia create an illusion of himself at the bottom there and then climb to the top. So that he could get Zim himself, and he absorbed some of Zim's power. I thought that would have been what saved him, because he was absorbing so much power before he fell off the cliff. But I was hoping for more from Viren in the finale, right? So I was a bit disappointed with that, but still loved it nonetheless. Our heroes definitely did the best they could. Callum finally got that spell to actually work, and I do hope that with the new season that we explore that a bit more, right? There are still a lot of questions that are still unanswered, but it makes sense. The writers have said, I believe, that they wanted this to continue to go on to 4 or 5 seasons, if I'm not mistaken. So there's still a lot more there that they need to explore, because Viren, obviously, I'm assuming they would not have found his body, so he's still, they're still looking for him. They're still looking for Claudia. We still don't know what Aravos's, intentions are. Although I've theorized before. I suspect that maybe, he's a prisoner. He explained a part of it in that the Dragon King is part responsible for his current predicament, right? So I believe there is some spell keeping him in check, keeping him imprisoned, and he needs the Dragon Prince or the Dragon Queen's power to release himself. Viren has definitely helped him to get close, but we still don't know quite what he hopes to accomplish once he is actually freed. Is he on the side of the elves? Is he on the side of the humans? I don't think it's either, but it would be good to have those intentions revealed to us. And even Viren himself, while he was the main villain of this season, we got a lot of backstory for Viren, but the main thing was still missing in that. What are Viren's motivations exactly? Soren outlined quite a bit in this season, about his dad's true intentions and how they may be hidden, and because he will convince others that he's fighting for humanity and fighting to ensure that the elves don't conquer the rest of Catolis, right? But those aren't his true objectives, and we still don't particularly know what is driving him. I've said in the past that I suspect it may be that it may have something to do with their mom, his wife, and I believe that even more strongly now because of how obsessed Claudia is with keeping the family together. So I think it's stemming from that. Somehow their mom died. I'm assuming it had some elves involved, and perhaps an elf killed his wife, and that is what is driving him to never again allow themselves to be to not be on top, to not be the ones in control, the ones with the power. And I think that is what is driving him. I think at his core, he still believes he's doing the right thing. As I've said, he still believes he's the hero of his own story. And as twisted as it may be, he thinks he's the good guy. And he could have done, as I've mentioned in this reaction as well, even the elves that he's captured, that he says he was going to add, Rayla to his collection of Moonshadow elves. He could have killed them, but he chose not to. He chose to capture them instead. And perhaps that's just some twisted hobby of his, and he likes to just keep them so he can see their horrified faces or something like that. It could be horrific. Or it could be that he's not the murdering, villain that we think he is. I still think he partly is. I think he's just, a maniac, and he just wants to be able to gloat and say, okay, I have power over you. But there's clearly more to this character. He's clearly more layered and more complex than just taking over. I just want power to take over the world. So there's a lot more to Viren. He's definitely one of the more compelling villains that we've had in an animated series so far in quite a while. Right, as much as I love The Last Airbender, one of the things that I didn't love about it is that Fire Lord Ozai didn't have those layers to him. He was essentially just the cliche villain who wants power to take over the world, and that was pretty much it. Between the Fire Lord and his relationship with Zuko, where he was a tyrant, even as a father, whereas here Viren is he's a bit condescending when it comes to Soren, but at the same time, he's still very much his son, and he said as much that, right? He's still his son, and he absolutely adores Claudia, in his own twisted way. But it shows that he's still a family man, right? And he still wants to leave that legacy for his children while being this corrupt and twisted megalomaniac. And those are the characters that you don't so much relate to, but you understand their motivations, and you understand why you should hate them, right? Or why you should disapprove of the things that they actually do. And we got that with Viren. He's been an excellent villain so far. Again, as I've said, as far as growth is concerned, Soren is definitely at the top, from season 1 to the finale here, and he said as much to Callum in this episode that I'm sorry I picked on you and bullied you all those years. I did it because I saw how much your stepdad loved you, and I was jealous because I didn't get that from my dad. And so Soren's growth from season 1 to season 3 is just absolutely fantastic. Definitely one of my favorite characters in the series. No, I wouldn't have said that in season 1, and probably not season 2, but he's definitely stepped up. And of course, Claudia, who it's weird because it's kind of flipped for me, because in season 1, Claudia was one of my favorites, right? She just had that quirky personality to her, which I always like those weird characters. And season 2, I was like, I don't want her. I like that she's on the dark side, but I was hoping that perhaps Callum would be the one to bring her back, on the side of good. Having experienced dark magic for himself back in season 2, right? I figured he would have been the one to kind of redeem her somewhat and bring her back over to our side, but I'm not sure there's any redemption for her now. She brought Viren back from the dead, which I'm assuming came at some terrible cost, right? I recall back in season 2, in order to heal Soren, she had to do something horrific. She had to sacrifice some poor animal to actually do it, and she used Ezran to actually get that beast. And I'm not sure if he has realized it yet. I don't think so. I don't believe so, in the way that he's still so kind to her. Although Ezran is very kind and he's very forgiving, so maybe he does and forgives her. But in order to bring someone back from the dead, I'm assuming she either had to sacrifice what was left of the army, or she made some sort of deal with Arvos, which is why he's in his cocoon now, ready to transform. So I suspect perhaps, and he's had his eye on her for quite a while, and it's the one thing that Vern has been, quite straightforward on, is that, okay, she is my daughter and she's off limits, right? And he's been quite steadfast with that, irrespective of whatever Arvos tried to put to him. He's like, no, she's my daughter. Do not ever forget that. But I suspect when he died, Arvos was like, hey, look, I can bring him back if you give this to me. And I think she made some great sacrifice. I think she gave Arvos something in exchange to bring her dad back. And it's not going to be great. It's not going to be great. So I don't think at this point there's any redemption for her. I think it's just going to get a lot worse. She's going to lose more control as the season goes on. And yeah. At a certain point, I suspect Viren will see the path that she's going down on, and he will have to sacrifice. This will be, I think that will be the one selfless act that he performs, right? It will be to save her from being consumed by the darkness. So I think that's what we're going to be getting in season 4, right? Of course, Callum and Ezran, I mean, this started with them all, and season 3 was no different. Following them on their epic adventures is definitely, those episodes are some of my favorites. Even something as simple as Callum and Rayla going through the forest to enter Zeta. It was just those fun moments, and this season definitely maintains the sense of humor that got me so interested in the series to begin with. There are serious moments, there are tragic moments, and you feel it when it happens, but there are light moments as well, and it's good to have a mixture and a balance of both. And this would not be complete without my complaining about where Sol Regum is again, and I'm sorry, I can't stop bringing it up. Where is Sol Regum? All right, when I thought a horde of dragons coming to help them, I thought, okay, Sol Regum is here. He's here. He's gonna. Where is he? And one of the reasons, I mean, apart from the fact that they propped him up to be this badass in the very first episode, aside from that, um, you know, his in the very first episode as well, they started with a flashback to years and years in the past where he was facing off against this mage. So there's obviously some tie into Soul Regem, but in terms of how this whole thing started, but we still don't know. So they gave it to us and then we never revisited it. I do hope that means, you know, I'm sure the writers wouldn't have just introduced it and just left it and as is. So I think there is more for us to learn about what happened back then, and Soul Regem is a huge part of it. I do believe his dragon emblem, the horns, is basically the emblem that's used for this season. So it'd be weird to not know. If you look at this season 3 poster, it's him. It is him. So I was hoping, all right, we're gonna see more of Soul Regem, but I do think he has a large part to play, and we'll see him again in season 4. I am confused about I mentioned before about the hierarchy where the dragons are concerned. We have a dragon king, a dragon queen, and a dragon prince. But are the other dragons beholden to them in terms of being loyal, right? Soul Regem seems to be his own thing, and he seemed, based on what we've learned of him so far, he seemed to be just as powerful as the Dragon King. And so I'm wondering, are the dragons broken into factions similar to how the elves are? Because you have the Moon Shadow elves, you have the fire elves, the Sunfire elves. So are the dragons broken into factions similar to that? And you have the fire dragons, thunder dragons. I don't know if we have ice dragons here. We've never seen any, but we've been introduced to different color dragons here, but they all were fire-breathing dragons. And so far, only the Dragon King, Queen, and Prince has been able to breathe, lightning. So, is it one dragon to rule them all, or are they all in their own little packs around all of Zadia, doing their own thing? And Soul Regem is maybe one of those leaders. Because he didn't come to the battle, so I imagine he's like, they came to him and he was like no, and decided not to help. So, and because he has such hatred for humanity, who knows, maybe it was for the best. He would have perhaps come to the field and scorched every single person there. But I'm definitely excited to learn more about how the dragons are organized, how that hierarchy works, where the Dragon Queen is concerned. But speaking of the Dragon Queen, she's finally awake. I think Zube is her name, and she's awakened and happy to see that humans and elves are actually capable of working together, and return her egg to her son to her, and as she said, return hope to her as well. I do wonder whether there is any possibility of reversing the magic that was done to the Dragon King to turn him to stone. Perhaps not, because I think some bits of him were broken off. That would be painful. But it would be interesting if the spell could be reversed and he could be brought back. But yes, some of my favorite characters this season, and I've said before, Amaya continues to be my favorite character in the entire series. We didn't get a whole lot of her. She was, for the most part, a prisoner this season, but she's still definitely my favorite character in the entire series overall. But we were introduced to a lot of different elves this season, right? And it's that seems to have been the theme for season 3. In season 1 we learned all about Catalyst, and then season 2 was traveling between Catalyst and Zadia. But in season 3 it was all about elves, and we were introduced to another Moonshadow elf here in this season at the Dragon Queen's lair, and of course Nyx from a few episodes ago, who wasn't in this battle. I don't believe she was, although I'm not even surprised. She's a bandit essentially. She doesn't do anything without pay, so I don't imagine she would come in to throw her life away for someone else's war. Although she does owe Rayla, so she could have asked. You remember that time I saved your life? I need your help. I need you to fight in this war, and you could possibly die. So they could have gone that route, but we didn't see Nix at the end there, but we did see the Baker in the war. Why was the Baker in the in fighting in a war? I guess I mean maybe they needed all the fighters they could get, and that meant calling in civilians as well. But dude was fighting with pastries. That was funny. That was hilarious. That was hilarious. What would have been funny, um, what would have been funny is if the crewmaster was actually there. You know, the guy that receives the messages and sends messages out. If the crewmaster, or crew lord, I'm sorry, it's crew lord because the crewmaster is away or something like that. But that would have been hilarious if he was on if he was on the battlefield. It's without a doubt my favorite moment in the entire series, and it reminds me of just the cabbage patch man from Avatar. So that's what the crew lord is for me, right? And I absolutely love that character, and when he just pops up at random moments in the series, I just lose it. So definitely another fantastic season. Can't wait for season 4 and 5. I think the series is doing well enough, but as much exposure as you can give it, please do that. Spread the word so that more people can check it out, so that this can be renewed for a 4th and 5th season. The writers have a fantastic story here that they want to tell, and I would love I'd love to see it to its completion. All right, guys, be sure to post down below. Let me know what your thoughts are on this episode and this season overall. Be sure to hit like and subscribe, and I will see you guys for the next one.